thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful laboratory in Manchester and home to Holifilm. Carissa, you're an applications scientist and we're going to be talking about a shampoo, but what are the ingredients that present a challenge mixing-wise for these formulations?
Traditionally, shampoos use a sulfate chassis, very traditional chassis. But as you know, the market is changing and there's actually some hard stops coming up in the future as to the use of sulfates. So a lot of customers, for their own health and well-being, for the planet, and because of these regulations, are moving towards a sulfate-free chassis. Now, to do this, generally we'll use some form of gum. So today I'm going to show you with carboxymethyl cellulose, but it's also true for xanthan, guar, carrageenan, all of these gums that we come across so often. We have to hydrate them. And the Silverson is the best way to do that. It saves us time, it saves us effort, and it gives us a more homogeneous formulation at the end.
Fantastic. Well, let's have a go and see what we can make.
Yeah, sure. Starting with our These shampoo. This is a really great formulation. It showcases our sophrolipids really well. I'll be using our Holisurf LF for this formulation, which is a lactonic sophrolipid. It's really great at degreasing. And of course, sulfate-free, 100% natural. The sophrolipid in a lot of these formulations can provide the cleaning, solubilization of essential oils, actives, and fragrances. It can help with, of course, the foam as well, emulsification and anti-biofilm, as well as actually providing loads of health benefits for the skin at the same time.
So it keeps the formulation really simple, just a few simple ingredients and the right equipment to put them together.
Exactly, yeah. So the next step for this is to hydrate the gum with some glycerin. Going to mix them together.
Looking at applications ourselves, this process, we might call this a premix, that sort of pre-suspension of a challenging product. And then you would put that into your main bulk and it just makes it a bit easier to work with.
Yes, so there's lots of different ways that you can do this and it might change as you scale up as well. But this is my preferred way. So the next step is adding the water content. So it's just 60% water for this formulation.
Fantastic. Well, the mix that you've got in your hand at the moment, it's looking a little bit lumpy. We've got some clumps of gum in there.
Yeah,
so
you can see
the moment of truth now, I think we need to get that to a smooth paste.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to pop it under the mixer, lower down.
We've got the Silverson running not too fast, but you can immediately see it is pulling in those lumps of gums and using the high shear to break them, hydrate them evenly. And it's already looking smoother than it did a second ago.
Yeah, so this is the part that saves us so much time. I can just make this shampoo all in one and walk out of the door with it in a fraction of the time.
When you're making products like this with an overhead stirrer, the stirrer is very good at moving the liquid, but it also just moves those lumps of powder, that unhydrated gum or thickener around the vessel rather than actually hydrating it. So it can be the difference between mixing for several hours or just mixing for several minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll lift this back up and we will add the surfactant component now. Yeah, so it's a much more smooth sort of gel now. So my first surfactant is decalglucoside, which is a APG. So it's a 100% natural palm or coconut derived surfactant.
Fantastic.
So this makes up 10% of the formulation. The next surfactant is GLT, which is sodium lauryl glutamate. It's another Cosmos approved surfactant. And it adds a nice bit of foam. And now our LF. And then we're going to take it back to the Silverson just to get everything incorporated.
That's already changing appearance. I noticed before you put it under the Silverson, we could see sort of like droplets forming, the different phases, the different materials in there, and
Yeah.
now it's just becoming completely uniform.
Yeah, that's right. You can see it's now got this sort of nice shampoo rheology. I'm just going to adjust the pH, make sure it's right. So for this formulation, I'm going for ultra mild, obviously 100% natural. I want the pH to be neutral, so it's suitable for babies and pets as well. But also the carboxymethyl cellulose is much happier at a neutral pH. So that's the reasoning for just taking it up. The final stage is to pull everything together. Of course, we need a preservative in the formulation. So this is natural phenethyl alcohol.
The other one you've got here is called mica, isn't it? And that one is much more of an aesthetic purpose that one has.
Yes, so that is clay powder. And I'm using this Arctic white variety, which gives it this pearlescent look. So yeah, it's a nice one for shampoo. So, and you'll see that it looks lovely when it goes under the Silversun and it all shimmers. You can see when I mix it with my spatula, it's still got these lumpy bits in.
Yeah, and it's quite common, especially with a shampoo formulation, high viscosity, then you add quite a fine powder to it. It's really, really difficult to get that powder in with any sort of conventional mixing methods. So it'll be very interesting to see how the Silversun handles that one.
So pop it back under, and for the final time.
And you've got quite a low speed on the Silversun at the moment, haven't you? And I presumably is that to limit any sort of air entrainment,
Yeah.
keep it quite neutral, not too aggressive?
Yeah, that's right. Just with this being quite viscous, I don't want any air to get sucked in.
Even at a low speed, that is immediately taking in the mica and it looks completely different.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It does have an amazing appearance, doesn't it? It just looks pearlescent is
Yeah.
the best word for it.
And this is a bit of a trend that's come back recently as well, these pearlescent shampoos. So, and we've got a lovely pearlescent, sulfate-free, well-incorporated shampoo. Okay, so we've got our finished product and we've bottled it up.
And it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it looks really, really great.
Glossy, pearlescent.
Yeah,
Very
really nice. So just to sort of show you the rheology of it coming out of the pump, it's just like how you'd expect a traditional shampoo, only it's sulfate-free.
Brilliant.
Yeah, suitable for everyone. So the whole household could use it as well, so that's even more sustainable.
And the dog.
Yeah.
How about that?